he had no choice but to take the job.
It's
because,
true, yeah.
because if you were offered this job as a 41-year-old Englishman to get to manage an English team in the Champions League, in the Premier League, you cannot in good conscience turn that down. And I think if we step back from the Chelsea side of it, for him, you've got to say he's got to be hoping that whatever happens at Chelsea, it doesn't set back his career for a long time. I think arguably it did. I think Potter was bruised by that, and then he goes into another club which is got its issues, West Ham, and gets more bruised. He's now Sweden manager, which is great. But that's because he's got more in his locker. He's got more credit built up that people can see what he can do. Whereas Rosenior doesn't have that, and he doesn't go in. You think of I've been covering Chelsea on and off for 25 years nearly, so I've seen a lot of Chelsea. But Luis Felipe Scolari comes in, World Cup winning manager, can't ask for in some ways more pedigree than that. And yet, he's gone within a few months. Andre Villas-Boas is supposed to be the new Mourinho, literally, because he used to be Mourinho's eyes and ears. That went terribly wrong. He didn't have a lot of he'd managed at least in Portugal. So in the end, and Rosenior will accept this himself, you're going to be judged by results on the pitch and whether there are signs of improvement. And where I agree wholeheartedly with Alex, at the moment things are going in completely the wrong direction. It's forgivable to lose. Just about forgivable to lose 3 times to the team that's probably going to win the Premier League. And
to PSG.
Yeah, and to PSG, who are the reigning champions, and I think will push very hard to win it again. But as you said, losing at home to Newcastle in the manner they did, and then losing away at Everton in the manner they did, it's not acceptable. And to the Rosenior's credit, at least afterwards, after the Everton game, saying that is just not good enough.
Yeah, it's not an easy job, but you still have to be better, don't you? Right? So it's harsh. But it's the reality of where we are.
I think one of the things for me is, I mean, we're fairly united on the fact that he's not going to be sacked before the end of the season. But that is obviously what a lot of fans want at the moment. They want him to be gone. They want someone else to come in. I don't really see someone else who can come in and do a better job than him. And I feel as though by sacking, Rosenior is a part of the problem right now, but I think sacking Rosenior and getting someone else, the problem doesn't change, because you're going to bring in, let's say, who would be the front runners? Felipe Luis, maybe Frank Lampard and Gary O'Neill. They would be the
not if he's got any sense, Frank,
because the owners are not going to bring in a Luis Enrique. We saw that.
Luis Enrique is not going to come in and work for Chelsea.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen. You're not going to get the change that Chelsea fans want from sacking Liam Rosenior. So where do they go from here? If he's sacked, who do you bring in? Because is Gary O'Neill a better manager than Liam Rosenior?
Yes.
Is he?
Well, he is. He's managed 2 Premier League sides.
He's maybe better equipped for if Chelsea are getting relegated next season.
I think the reality is if Rosenior was to stay, I don't know how long term we're talking. What's he on, a 6-year contract? So, let's just say Rosenior was at Chelsea for 6 years. I think there's a good argument that we'd just go way down.
We'll do a Spurs.
I think that's a good chance. I'm not saying we get relegated, but why wouldn't we plummet when we keep self-sabotaging? I actually think it's harder to do what we've done than just maintain the success of what Roman built. All we had to do was sign a couple of decent players, keep the sporting directors in place, back Vivell when he came in, or deal with Buck or Granit Scott, whatever it is. But we decided to change everything. And in that sense, everything has changed. We've gone from a club who expect to win to a club who are almost praying to win. I'm going against Everton. I'll take a point. It's a point gained because Liverpool lost. And that is not me accepting mediocrity, but that's the reality of what we're watching. But just to go back on what you said about the managers, Gary O'Neill would be a horrendous appointment, but it is the most realistic based on what we've seen from this ownership group. And also, like we mentioned with Enrique, he's probably one of the few that might actually accept the job. So it's not even about who Chelsea want, it's about who will take Chelsea.
Yeah, I think that's the go. I don't think, and it depends how much money you offer him, I suppose, but I'm not sure Enrique would take it. And whatever happens in the summer, say if Rosenior did leave, Xabi Alonso I don't think he's not going to come, and he's probably going to be the highest profile manager available. You're going to have people like Glasner or Iola would Zidane. Well, I mean Zidane to come in on vibes. Who knows with someone else under him? But the other thing with Rosenior is this ownership have got a lot of their credibility tied up, invested in this guy. They can't be. They've sacked so many managers where they can't be seen to be getting rid of another one. They've got, because otherwise it really does. Well, it already does look like they're the problem, but it really starts to look like their problem if the guy that they've handpicked and groomed all the way through the system still can't make that system work. And it's like, maybe the system might be wrong. So they've got to give him to at least the end of the season. All the noises coming out of Cobham are that they're not going to hold him to the same standard they were going to hold Maresca to, which was Champions League qualification minimum. That he could survive if they don't get Champions League, but I would be amazed if he did. I mean, the only thing would be say, well, let's give him a pre-season. Let's get him drilling them on playing out from the back. Let's give him some players that actually improve the squad and see what happens. But then the danger is you then get to October, November, and you're thinking, do you know what? It's time to make another change, and then the cycle just repeats again. And they can't. This is not the recipe for a successful club.
Yeah, it's safe to say it's not going overly well. So in 30 seconds, Alex, quickly, has the international break now come at a good time? Because Chelsea have got a bit of time to recoup. Has it come at a good time or a bad time?
Well, I think it's come at a good time in terms of just breaking away, have a break for myself. But I think from the players' standpoint, yeah, they just need to regroup. I don't think there's any time, though, unfortunately, that will affect our results, whether it's a week, a month. I think the same thing will happen. I think we'll continue to struggle. Dan?
I think it has gone at a good time, just because it will get Rosenior and his players and bad news out of the news. They'll have a 2-week, not a total 2-week break. We'll still have to do some work, you and I, Lloyd, but they'll have a break. There's no games to play, so they've got no opportunity to lose and make things worse. I mean, that sounds silly, but that's reality. And you'd like to think if Rosenior is as good a coach as a lot of people think he is, not just the Chelsea sporting directors, then he's got a week and a half, 2 weeks to work on it. And let's see. I mean, Port Vale is a weird game. But then after that, you've got City and United as the next 2 league games. And by that point, because they're playing, whoever wins out of Brentford Everton after the international break, they all go ahead of Chelsea in the table, because Chelsea will be playing FA Cup. So the pressure is really going to be on. Can we just talk about one other silver lining to this massive cloud, and that is the ever burgeoning fitness of running man Mr. Loyal.
We are in exceptional shape.
When you took on that challenge, did you really imagine that you'd be running the equivalent of more than a marathon in 2 weeks thanks to Chelsea's ineptitude?
No. Well, not long before I started, actually, Chelsea had won 5 games in a row, and I thought it might get bad every now and again. I thought PSG had potential to be a disaster, and it was a disaster, but there have been multiple disasters after that, which included me running 11k this morning in that Cole Palmer mask on the table. So stay tuned to my social media to see that video, shameless plug.